Hi everyone, I'm back here at the Harriman State Park for the last adventure of 2023. We're gonna go back to Stockbridge. This is a one-nighter solo camping trip. I was hoping for a cold camping trip, but it turned out to be 50 degrees, not so cold. I still packed my winter gear. So be it. Carrying a little extra weight, but I'll see you at the Stockbridge. Stick around. This is gonna be a mile and a quarter hike to the Stockbridge. And the reason that I picked this trip this time was that the last time I was here, you might have seen that this was completely covered with ice. And it was this time last year that I was here, December. But it was snow, had snowed, so there was snow everywhere, especially up there. So I got there kind of late. There was not enough time to look for a suitable place, and since everything was covered in snow, I didn't really know how to pick a good tent spot. So I ended up staying at the shelter at Stockbridge. So I'm looking forward to this trip, getting there a little earlier and checking out the area and actually finding a place to set up my tent. We'll see you up there. These are tough conditions to trek in. 50-ish degrees, it's warm. And there's a bit of a drizzle, so it's very, very humid. So mix that with some sweat, and that's a recipe for wetness. My merino wool base layer is holding up extremely well. I feel barely no wetness, but it feels very comfortable underneath. And I just have the base layer underneath this jacket. I took off the fleece a while back already. So it's just the base layer in the jacket now. Very humid. And so these are bad conditions because of the glasses, and it gets foggy. I do have the anti-fog wet wipes to clean my glasses, but unfortunately I didn't think I had to carry one of them in my pocket, and they're in my safety kit. Not a bad place to keep them, I guess, while you trek. Note to self. Hi everyone, I arrived at the Stockbridge Shelter, and what a difference from the last time I was here. It was all clear, of course, and there was a magnificent sunset, but here you can't even see 100 feet down there. And it's making this journey a lot more difficult because I was hoping to be able to scout out the place a lot better. I was able to see some camping grounds down there on a lower level. So that's one thing. There's a lot of wood. Everything is wet. So I don't know about making the fire, but yeah, the fog is the thing. let's see if I can check this place out in spite of the fog. This is the bear shelter. Just a little ways on the long path past Stockbridge. I wanted to come over here and check it out. I hope it's okay. I left my pack back there and I started exploring this way toward the long path. And wow, to my surprise, there's a lot of really cool flat camping areas, which I'm looking forward to moving into a little later. But also the fog is making it so hard to see everything. And but I just climbed down this rock formation to get to the bear cave here. And it's a really interesting rock formation with 2 or 3 different caves, really. And I don't know if I have the courage to camp out here, but this would be a pretty cool spot to be in, that's for sure. But I just fear that some visitors might come through here. But that would be a really cool spot to camp for the night, actually. Well, it's only 3:30 in the afternoon, but it certainly feels like later as the sun is very, very low and all I see is fog. I had to build a little makeshift little shelter here with my poncho. I always carry the poncho in the backpack for emergencies like this. So I was able to set it up with a couple of trees and a couple of stakes and made myself a little shelter, a little tiny shelter here for my backpack and my stuff. I can sit here for the time being and chill. I'm about to break a cold one. Not so cold anymore, but a cold one that I brought with me, a little extra weight. I don't mind that extra weight. And my shelter is all set up. My sleeping bag is ready to go. If I get cold, I can just jump in there. And this will be the first rain trial of my lunar solo. But I don't expect too many other people on this trail, except for the one lady that I met early on with the 2 huge dogs. And we met up 3 or 4 different times. And every time those huge dogs would come running at me and scare the heck out of me. But she's the only other person on this trail currently, as far as I know. Let the chill begin. You know, I was gonna hold off until a little later. If I had to pick up wood or anything like that, but I could see that there's a lot of wood. So if it stops raining, I might attempt to do a little fire at some point. There's a lot of wood around here, so I don't think getting wood for a fire is gonna be a problem. Well then, the sun has set, and it looks a lot brighter on the video than it actually is. Pretty eerie evening. The mist has not subsided. In fact, it's gotten possibly worse. It looks like I can barely see 50 yards. So I've still explored a little bit around here. I got some wood if I choose to make a fire. I feel it's gonna be a pretty hard attempt considering everything is wet. But you know, I got my little shelter over here, right? All my stuff is under the shelter. Got a lot of wood, and my tent is there. It's ready to go. I've been checking in on it. It's nice and tight. No water. So under these conditions, I'm all set. I'm gonna have beef stroganoff tonight. I brought in a freeze-dried dinner. I definitely will have some snacks and little things. Maybe watch a movie right out here, even under the crackly tarp. Hang out by the fire a little bit. Let's see how it goes. Pretty quiet. So I did hang my bear trap over here, right up here on that on that tree. It is a little close to my camp. Ideally, I'd want to be at least twice this far. I didn't want to venture out too far. I could easily hang it right there, but I got lazy. I think this will be fine. It's getting real dark real quick. Dinner's ready. Big pieces of beef. Hi everyone. Eating a little chocolate. I guess dessert. Stew was good. I always feel that the 2-portion This is a little too much. I still feel I could have saved a cup of water and made just half of the portion. I can't believe I still got the fire going. It's going really hot in the bottom now. So even with the drizzle and the little rain, it still goes. And I'm still feeding the little pieces of wood that I collected. It's going strong. Dinner was awesome. I'm just doing what I do, what I love to do. This pitch dark, total silence, except for the sound of nature, I guess, and the fire. I hear a little rain on the tarp. I tell you, this little improvised tarp was the best thing that I could have done on this trip. Now I'm chilling here with the fire. I'll be here for a little while. Good morning. So I am all prepared to leave. Just last few moments to say my goodbyes. I had to get up a couple of times overnight, and it was so foggy all night long, and it rained all night long. I cannot see this. I cannot see this valley. This has been a wonderful time, wonderful evening. Not too cold. Was very comfortable. In fact, I didn't even have to get inside the sleeping bag. I just used it as a quilt, which gave me a lot more freedom to move around at night, and consequently, I slept better. I slept really well last night. So, plus the rain all night, hitting the tent was therapeutic, to say the least. Always a little sad to depart and leave this behind. It's gotta come sometime. Let's get ready to go. It's 1 p.m. Pretty late, but pretty standard for my departure times. I take my time in the morning getting up and making breakfast, and then I like to enjoy the views of the morning, generally for a couple of hours. So I started the trek back. I am on the long path, so my campsite is sitting, I would say about a couple of 100 feet north of the shelter here. So I am headed southwest toward it right now, and then I'm gonna continue on the long path for just a little bit, and then I'll get on off to the left onto the Menomine, back to the car. I had noticed as I was looking down the valley that there's a trail way down there. A couple of people passed by. I'm assuming that's the trail that heads on around to the back to get up here. So I was able to see a couple of people way down there. And that's where I'm headed. Let's get past here. This little piece, and there's the Stockbridge right there. So I really am literally on the long path, another 200 feet or so on the long path, and that's the campsite right up there above that little hill. As I get down from the hill where the where the Stockbridge Shelter is at. All the way up there, hill there. We get into this little valley here, and this is the end really of the long path, because that's where I connect with the Meno mine for the remainder. Look at this beautiful valley. And of course there's water running right down here at the base of this mount. So runs through the valley here. So I didn't remember this, that there was water so close to the shelter. That's a plus to the Stockbridge. I'm very happy to have come back here to see this, because to do it justice really, because the last time that I was here, this place was so covered up that there was no way for me to see any of it. And now this time I got to enjoy. It would have been better if it weren't for the fog, of course, that I had no views at night. I know it was a full moon, so it would have been a beautiful, beautiful evening with the light of the moon shining down on the valley. Wow. You'll have to come back here and see that. So much to explore. So at this point of the trail, I've just been rewarded with a spectacular view, but not from up high, but in this very strange pine formation where the really tall pine trees mix in with the little baby pine trees, and it creates this effect of a forest, green and brown. Check it out. Amazing spot. I feel like I want to stay here for a minute and take it all in. Every once in a while on the trail you get rewarded with moments like this, that if you're not paying attention, you miss them. And that's not the purpose of me being out here. The purpose is for me to have these moments. So I'm always trying to be mindful and not focus so much on the arrival and how much further to go, but the trek itself. This has been a surprisingly easy trail on the way back, because it's all downhill and it's relatively short. So I haven't had to worry about stress of arrival and times of performance and whatnot. It is a very cloudy day. It has not rained. I don't know if it's gonna rain or not at this point, and I don't know if it's gonna rain or not at this point, but I don't necessarily care at this point. I hear some water approaching, so I think I remember this spot on the way up. We're approaching the last few yards. I can see the parking lot to the silver mine. I see my car, Pearl 2, sitting there waiting for me with its warm air and inviting seats and loud music. Looking forward to that. I want to thank you guys for joining me in this amazing short little winter trip as we wrap up the 2023 season with this last Stockbridge overnighter. I'm glad I did it. We have 2024 in a couple of days with a whole new set of adventures. Thanks for coming along. Hope you enjoyed it. And until the next one.